Did you know that every single minute, over 100 cyber attacks are launched? It's like this constant invisible war happening all around us. So, in this explainer, we're going to break down the anatomy of these attacks to give you the fundamental knowledge you really need for your own digital defense.
All right, let's get right into it. Picture this, late 2021. A single, tiny flaw is found in something called Log4j. Now, you've probably never heard of it, but this little piece of software is everywhere. I mean, it's built into millions of apps all over the world. So this wasn't just a small problem, it was a massive vulnerability. And almost instantly, automated attacks just started hammering away at it. And that one little flaw, it led to this staggering number: 1.2 million attempted cyber attacks. And get this, that wasn't over a month or a year. That was in just the first 72 hours. It all kicked off on a Friday, and by the weekend, the attacks were hitting at a rate of over 100 every single minute. I mean, wow. This really shows you the incredible speed and scale of today's digital threats, and it's exactly why we have to understand how to defend ourselves.
Yeah, this isn't some movie scene with a hacker in a dark room, trying to guess your password. No, it's a constant automated war happening right behind our screens, always looking for those little cracks, vulnerabilities in software, hardware, and all our networks.
So who's actually behind all this? Who are these people launching these attacks, and what's their number one weapon of choice? Let's take a look at the playbook. Okay, so the lineup of attackers is, well, it's pretty diverse. You've got the big leaks, nation-state actors with huge government budgets behind them. Then there are the hacktivists who are all about pushing a political message. Of course, you have the cyber criminals who are just in it for the money. And don't forget insider threats, maybe a disgruntled employee. And then way down at the other end of the spectrum, you've got script kiddies, basically amateurs with very basic skills. Their reasons are all different, but the goal, it's always the same: find a way in.
So how do they get in? This is what I find so fascinating. With all the super complex hacking methods you hear about, their number one way in is shockingly simple. It's something pretty much all of us use every single day.
Yup, email. A whopping 94% of all malware gets to its target through a simple email. Think about that. They just trick us into opening a bad attachment or clicking a dangerous link. They've turned the tool we use most for communication into their primary weapon, all by playing on basic human trust and curiosity.
Okay, so we know their favorite weapon. How do we fight back? Well, it's time to talk about building our digital fortress. And any good fortress starts right at the front gate. We're talking about mastering access control, deciding who gets in and what they're allowed to do once they're inside.
The best way to think about this is like a package delivery, right? So the delivery driver shows up and flashes their ID badge. That's step 1, identification. Then you take a look at the badge to make sure it's legit. That's step 2, authentication. Okay, it's real, so you let them step just inside the door to drop off the package, but you don't let them wander around your house. That's step 3, authorization. And finally, you sign for the package, which creates a record of the whole thing. That's step 4, accounting. Seriously, every secure system you can think of follows these 4 basic steps.
But what if someone does get past the gate? What happens then? Well, that's where the next layer of defense becomes absolutely crucial. The idea here is that even if they manage to steal something, they won't be able to understand it or use it. Welcome to the world of secret codes.
This is cryptography. And at its heart, it's all about providing critical protections. The big one is confidentiality, making sure that only the person the message is for can actually read it. You can think of it like a digital envelope that's literally unbreakable.
And there are really 2 main ways to do this. First, you've got symmetric encryption. This one's fast and simple. It's like you and a friend sharing one single secret password or key. Then you have asymmetric encryption. And honestly, this is the magic that makes the whole internet secure. It's like having a public mailbox out front. Anyone can come by and drop a letter in that mailbox. That's the public key part. But only you have the private key to actually open the mailbox and read what's inside.
So you can see that having these individual tools, firewalls and encryption, is great. But real defense is about more than that. It's about having a complete, proactive plan. It's about designing your security from the ground up, not just bolting it on later.
And this really gets to the heart of it. Just waiting for an attack to happen and then scrambling to react, well, that's just not a strategy that works long term. The strongest, most secure organizations, they build a blueprint for their security before a threat even shows up on the radar.
And this is exactly how the pros do it. They use something called a security framework. In fact, something like 84% of organizations in the US use one. It's basically a way to systematically manage all their defenses, so they have a consistent, repeatable process for keeping everything secure.
One of the most popular blueprints out there is the NIST Framework. And the key thing to understand about it is that it's a continuous cycle. It's not a one-and-done thing. It starts with identifying what you need to protect. Then you protect it and have ways to detect if anything goes wrong. If an attack does get through, you have a plan to respond and then recover. And this is the important part. You learn from what happened to make your protections even better, which brings you right back to the beginning of the cycle. It just reinforces that good security is a never-ending process.
Which kind of leaves us with this final thought, right? As the attackers focus more and more on tricking actual people, with those phishing emails we talked about, is our strongest shield really the technology we install, or is it our own awareness, the knowledge we have, and the caution we use every single day?
So if you want to keep strengthening your own digital awareness and defenses, you might want to check out the Firewall Support Center. They really provide that expert guidance you need for truly proactive protection. Thanks for watching.